Capcom established themselves in the video game industry by bringing out hit franchise after hit franchise every decade for 30 years. They were real masters of the 2D gaming era on the NES and the SNES, so I had a lot of fantastic memories playing Street Fighter as a kid. They created hit franchises like Street Fighter, Ghosts and Goblins, and Mega Man. So these established Capcom as a massive player in the video game industry, and they've released numerous sequels for their hit IPs, all the way through these decades. So in the 90s they released their first Resident Evil game, which went on to be another multi-million selling phenomenon, and it was another game to get that movie treatment from them to sort of capitalise on its popularity. In the 2000s, the Monster Hunter franchise and Dead Rising were released, and they were other big hits for the company that kept them relevant. Now though, they started to take a lot of flack from gamers. Their reputation being damaged by controversies over kind of unpopular sales tactics. So just look up On Disc DLC, and then you'll get an idea of the kind of shady tactics that are similar to EA's loot box material and other shady things they've released recently. So fans have been frustrated by their games being released in Japan only. There's been issues with online play. And some of the content in more recent Street Fighter games has upset fans. Street Fighter 5, it's a limited single-player content, and it hit their sales, so people started to vote with their wallets. I think that's when you start to listen and start to reevaluate as a company, but, Capcom haven't done that, so they've been slow to get on board with the Switch as well, so they got burned by the Wii U era like everyone, they didn't get a lot of money back out of that investment. Recently, they've released Street Fighter Arcade and the Mega Man 1 and 2 collections for multiple platforms. So, they've gone on the Switch. So, obviously, fans have been super excited. Couldn't wait to get their hands on them. The games, the collections look fantastic. Great chance to win the frustrated fans over, sort of get them back on side and kind of, get the name back to sort of some of its glory days. Putting these games together and some of the new features on them, looked really popular, got a big hit with the fans straight away. But then, Capcom do what Capcom do. They do things that just rub fans up the wrong way. Myself included. So here's my problem with Capcom. I don't get pissed off easily, but when someone or something keeps doing annoying shit, it sets me off. So what have Capcom done to get me so riled up? The 30th anniversary collections are an awesome idea. I and a lot of other people were super hyped for them, and rightly so. Then we found out Capcom were putting Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 on the disc, but Legacy Collection 2 with games 6 to 10 were download only. That's just stupid. They could have fit on a single Switch game card because much larger games have fit on there, no problem. There are various sizes of Switch card. We've all heard this over and over. It's old news now. That's annoying, but I just got on with it. The Mega Man collections and Street Fighter collections got physical releases, which is cool because I'm a collector. I've got hundreds of games and I enjoy collecting them. But again, the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 is only released in Japan and North America, physical release. So the fans in the UK and Europe, like me, have to choose between the download-only version or pay extra delivery charges to get the game imported from the US or Japan. So, why Capcom? Why would you just ignore a whole continent of fans? I don't understand it. It's not only the Legacy Collection 1 and 2 editions for Mega Man. Capcom are releasing Mega Man X Collections 1 and 2 as well at the end of July. Again, no physical releases in Europe. What the hell, Capcom? They've just announced that the new Mega Man is coming. Mega Man 11. They've made an awesome trailer. It looks amazing. It's a fantastic looking game. It looks like it's retained kind of key elements of the games for the fans from down the ages that they'll love, but then have upgraded the graphics, some new weapons, some new difficulty levels, new challenges. It's brought the game into the modern era. It's what everyone's been waiting for. I wasn't even a huge Mega Man player when I was younger. I remember playing some of the games. I couldn't tell you which ones I played. I think I was a bit too young in the NES era, and then I think when I was, I had a SNES, which I played a lot when I was growing up. I played a lot of shoot 'em ups, platformers, kind of fighting games, some sports games. So, the Mega Man, so I played a little bit, but I didn't really, get into it or own a lot of them. Even I am super excited for the new collections and Mega Man 11, partly because I didn't play them a lot when I was younger, and Mega Man 11 just looks awesome. Just look at it. It looks fantastic. It's, super amazing looking game. I think it could sell by the bucket load, but it's not getting a physical release in Europe. Why? Why? It's a new game. If Penguin Wars can get a physical release in Europe, then Capcom can do Mega Man collections, and more importantly, Mega Man 11 in Europe. I mean, I think they should do all of them, but at least Mega Man 11 should get a physical release in Europe. It's so bad, a group of fans have started a petition on change.org to get a physical release in Europe. I don't even know about this when I started planning this video, but the gaming god smiled on me and just dropped this in my lap when I was doing some research. So the links are available down below if you want to join in. I think everyone should get together and show some solidarity for the collectors. And try and push Capcom to release their games in physical releases in Europe. And the worst thing for me, this isn't the only thing that's annoyed me. This isn't the reason I've started to do the video. So this isn't just a physical copy rant. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary obviously got a physical release in Europe, so Capcom did do that one in a physical release. So why can't you do Mega Man? I have no idea. It's obviously a financial decision of some sort. But my next point is to do the online play for Street Fighter, collections. I've been playing it online with my best man Kazabian, or, well, he's been treating me a little bit like his toy on Street Fighter because he's been playing it for 30 years. So I did actually manage to win one, so with Dalziman managed to pull off some moves. My level of play is rubbish. I just button bash, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I played it on the SNES era, and I've just not played enough for a long time, so I need to get better at it. But I digress. The online play, though, some of you might know, it's being ruined at times by extreme lag and distorted sound. So I'll play some footage. You'll be able to see quite clearly when it starts to just go in slow-mo. So I can't play the sound because I could get, a strike from YouTube on it. But I've had numerous examples of this on online games, just degrading into this awful slow-motion jar fest, which just makes it almost unplayable. So I'm not the only one to find this. RGT85 mentioned this in one of his videos, so I'll put this down in the link below. He only found it in one of the initial first few days of the game, and then he seemed to find it was playing really well. I'm still seeing issues now. This was recorded on the 29th of May when it came out in the UK, but also on the 5th and 6th of June. So I'm still seeing issues on a regular basis. And I've got good unlimited fast fiber Wi-Fi. So, I know it's peer-to-peer, but I've been able to play games like Splatoon 2, Mario Kart Online. I'm not having any issues. So, I don't know. Capcom, what's going on? You need to look at this. But lastly, let's not forget how long it's taken for a Monster Hunter game to get released in Europe and North America on Switch. I don't know what's going on with that. And I've also seen a lot of channels praising, and saying how excited they are about cloud games for the Switch. So games like Resident Evil Biohazard, obviously been out on other systems, difficult to put them on a Switch. And for me, I don't understand why channels are getting super excited about cloud versions of games that are effectively renting you games as well for, I think it was around 3-month periods, but for significant amounts of money. Because, I like to collect games. I know a lot of people who do have YouTube channels want to collect physical copies of games. You want to see nice collector's editions, or you want to see games with, old school manuals, little interesting physical bits of artwork, etc. But, cloud versions of games, I can't think of anything worse, because when the part of the Switch is it's mobile. How many places actually have Wi-Fi that's good enough where you can take this on the go and play it anywhere? And why are you having to rent these games? I can't think of anything worse than supporting companies in renting games online for your Switch. It's a way for them to reduce costs and not have to, produce physical copies of games. So for me, I'm not interested. I'm not buying it. I won't be getting into cloud gaming. I hate being negative and moaning about issues, but I think it's time for Capcom to realise that they need to listen to fans. Pulling shady sales techniques, cutting corners on physical releases, cutting out whole continents of fans, it just annoys people. And the last point I want to make is just about communication. If fans are voicing these opinions, they're not happy, you need to come out and communicate and explain decisions. So engage with your fans. I've asked Capcom on social media about physical releases in Europe, and I got no response. So obviously Nintendo Life did a story, other, big media outlets did stories online to kind of clarify it for us, but why are we waiting for these stories to find out what we already knew? So Capcom, I'm not happy about this. I know there's lots of other fans aren't happy about it. I'll leave the links to the petitions down below. I hope they change their tune because they've got some great IPs, some great games. I'm really excited to play Monster Hunter on the Switch, and the Legacy Collections and Mega Man games, they look great. They look like they're bringing some games. I'd love it if they brought some new IPs out. They've not had a real big original IP for a while, and I think the Switch is a great platform for them, but they need to up their game. They need to listen to people, and they need to start, playing up to the fans a little bit more, rather than just doing the collections. Do them in a way that people will be happy with them, and stop this download and partial disc stuff. Mega Man games can fit on a disc, no problem. So, rant over. Capcom, buck up your ideas.